Hi everybody, it's me, Deborah from San Antonio, Texas. I'm doing this video because I've noticed that some people say stories and I'm gonna say the way I heard it. I'm not a witness or nothing, but I heard a story that it happened and it was here in San Antonio in the west side. It was a nightclub called El Camaroncito, which later on was La Rancherita nightclub, and then nowadays it's already the 411, which is a strip club, but it's located in the west of San Antonio on Highway 90 and close to 36th Street. Well, they say many years ago it was a it was just a normal regular day like every other day, just dancing and people drinking and stuff, whatnot. And all of a sudden, this man walks in, and all the women were like so like into him, and of course all the women wanted to be with him, and of course all the men were like, getting angry because all the girls were going to this one man, but nobody knew what was going on. It looked like as if they were hypnotized or something. And they say he was dancing the night away, that man, dancing and dancing with all the women. He had all the women like going crazy over him there and everything. And there was one woman that he was dancing with the most, and no reason why he picked her. Nobody knows why, but there was one that he did dance with the most. And as time went on later on in the bar, um, it was only him dancing with the women. And as the women started like separating and dancing around him, like if he was some sort of god or something, all of a sudden they say that it smelled like sewer, like poop. So everyone was like, where's that bad smell coming from? Where's it coming from? Well, they finally noticed the smell came from him, from that guy, the one that everyone thought was so good looking. And when they were looking at his feet and they turned to look down at his feet, they noticed that he had a foot of a cow or something like that, and another one of a chicken, or I just know it was some kind of farm animal. That's what I heard. And they said that the guy took off running when they were like in Spanish. Everyone said es el diablo, it's the devil. That he took off running, and when he took off running, they said the woman he was dancing with fainted. She didn't pass away or anything, but she did faint. Well, I don't know why. But they say she fainted. The guy took off running to the restroom. They say when he went to the restroom, other men that were there chased him, and of course they chased him for one thing: they were gonna go kick his ass. But they say when they went in the restroom, nobody was there. The guy just disappeared, and coming to think, I mean, there's no windows in that restroom, but the guy disappeared. So where did he go? Maybe where he smelled like down the toilet. I don't know. But yeah, they say he just disappeared, but everybody figured it was the devil that had appeared. And um, like I say, I don't know if it's really true. I don't know if it happened really here in San Antonio, because people do say a lot of stuff, and it happens like people a lot of times will place it to their hometown or something. So I really can't tell you because I wasn't physically there, but I did hear it happen here in San Antonio. But that's all I know. Um, Another thing is they say La Llorona passes by Espada Park, and that's in the south side of San Antonio on Military Street, by Military and Presa, South Presa. And they say that it was that November. I'm not sure. I think it was 97 or 98 when it was like getting flooded here in San Antonio, and there was a lot of people at the park. And I remember I went over there, and we were like, what's going on? There was like a lot of people at the park, and my mom drove in there to see what was going on, and didn't want to let people go in, but well, my mom still got in. So we got off and we had to like park, and we went walking farther down, and we're just like, what's going on? And there was a lot of people with camcorders, and I'm like, everyone's just recording the water to see how flooded you got or what. They're like, no, didn't y'all hear that the Llorona went by? And we're trying to capture it. And I was like, well, she already went by. What are you gonna capture? Like what? I mean, yeah, so she already went by. But I guess people were just trying to see if they would see anything, hear anything, or catch anything. I don't know, but a lot of people went there for the same reason, and it was for La Llorona. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I was only there when I saw the people were there, so I went to, of course, to go see what was going on because my mom just stopped Um, in the same place, a little bit farther down, there's also the railroad tracks. So you go down to the railroad tracks, and when you get there, you just put your car in neutral. And I've done it many times, but you gotta be careful because you'll get a ticket. Like if a cop sees you, they'll give you a ticket because they don't want people playing around or distracting a lot and causing all this commotion there and stuff. But yeah, you just put your car in neutral, and you just stay there waiting, and all of a sudden your car will just start moving forward, rolling by itself. And as it goes, it's going up. It's not like a straight street, and it's not like it goes up because the railroad tracks are there. So it's like a little, very little hill, but it's a little hill. So it's kind of hard, but it goes, and it goes faster as it starts going. It goes faster, and it takes you over the hill, and of course it takes off once it goes over the road tracks. But all you gotta do is just handle your steering wheel because it's like a quick turn. But yeah, and if you pour baby powder and everything, you'll see like feet or handprints on your car. But I don't know if it's really that or not. Um, I come to think maybe there is spirits because I do believe in spirits that exist. I do believe in all that stuff. So maybe it is spirits pushing the car. Um, because since they died there, like in that school bus, they don't want no one else to die or be in an accident like them. So I do believe they could be doing something like that, like to try and save people. But I also have a different belief of sometimes regular handprints don't fully come off a vehicle. So if you pour baby powder, your handprint's not gonna appear. But once the car starts rolling, some of the excess baby powder will fall off, and only the baby powder that was put on the handprint will stay there, and it will seem as if it was pushed, I believe. Um, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I really don't know, but the handprints is kind of like, yeah, I really can't tell you if it really is handprints or not, but I can say that I myself didn't have kids before, and when I didn't have kids, I would go a lot, and there was a lot of little handprints, and I honestly can't tell you where they came from because I didn't have kids, and I was like, well, of course, there's no kid gonna touch my car, you know. But nowadays, I can't say the same because I have a lot of kids and all sizes of hands, so I can't tell, you know. But I did take a photo, which was later on taken from me when I had divorced, and it was a photo that I snapped at the railroad tracks, and one of them came out just regular railroad tracks, and the other one there was a train on there, and there was two face images, and of course I freaked, but I had saved that picture just to keep it like as a memory, you know, so someone could later research on it. It wasn't messed with or nothing; it was just a regular picture I just took on a disposable camera. But like I said, a previous husband took it with him, so I stayed without that. I've heard stuff about the donkey lady. I've heard about a lady that appears at a cemetery. It's a real small cemetery, but it's really old. It's in the west side, but it's in Guadalupe Street, and there's another little street right there's like right by the creek. There used to be like a Lazan courts or something that are right there, but there's like a little cemetery right there. It's right by JT Breckenridge Elementary School. The cemetery is like 2-3 blocks away. But they say that there, I mean, at night you get to see a lady walking around, and you don't, no one knows like who she is. Um, I've never seen her, and I don't want to go see her either. But they do say that there was a lady that would appear and she would disappear. Like she would notice you were looking at her, it's like she would turn to look at you, and then she'd just be gone. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. But those are just stories that I've heard from here from San Antonio. And other than that, I've heard just basic stories. I like to hear scary stories. I like to hear all kinds of stuff like that, and people tell me stuff, and I like to hear it because, well, you kind of can tell when someone's like telling you something that they really heard, or if it's a story they heard, or if they're just straight out just coming with BS. I mean, you're just like, okay, I could smell the BS. But yeah, you just never know. But I have heard of people doing stuff, and I myself one time lived. My mom had just moved into this house, and we were just living there for about probably about a week, and we had the lassos, those poles where you would go up and hang clothes because we didn't have a dryer. So I went outside and I was gonna hang clothes, and there was this lady right there next door, and she was right there just picking up papers. And she just looked at me and she was like, "Hi, honey, are you my new neighbor?" And I was like, "Yeah, we just moved in." She's like, "Yeah, I was seeing you moved in." And I was like, "Oh." And we had a little house in the back. It probably looked like her garage because she had like this big two-story house and a really, 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 really big house. But yeah, but she was there and she was talking to me, and she was just like, "Oh, okay, and it's all of you. Oh, I have roses. I love my roses." And she just pointed at me. "My roses come out over there." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Whenever you want some, you can get some. It's okay. They smell very beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Thank you so much." I didn't like roses like I don't like the roses like that, but I was just like, "Oh, okay, just being nice to the lady." But then these two little kids were right there, and I saw them coming down the little alley because our backyard was right into the alley. And I saw them coming when I was talking to the lady, and I just told her, "Okay, thank you." And when I turned, the little girl goes, "I think she's crazy," and I just stayed looking at her like, "What? You just said I was crazy?" And the other little girl was like, "Yeah, she's scary," and I was like, "Hi." I just said hi to them like to kind of like break the tension so they wouldn't be afraid of me. So I was like, "Hi," and they're like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "They went to the lady." And I turned over to look when I said to the lady, and I was like, "Oh," so I didn't know where she had gone. And I was like, "Okay." And then all of a sudden I saw her and she was over there by like the back door. It was like the house, but there was like a little door on the side towards the back of the house. And she was going right in the door. And she was just waving. And I was like, I just waved. That was it. That was the end of it. Like about a week after that, um, the man that arrived at that house, we thought he lived there. He came and he told us if we knew anybody in our household or whatever that can cut his yard for a very cheap price. And we're like, "Oh, yeah, well, we'll do it. I mean, it's money, we'll do it." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And we're like, "You live there?" He's like, "No, no, I only come because this was my mother's house." And we're like, "Oh, yeah, I met her the other day." And he was like, "You met who?" And I go, "I met your mother." I go, "If that was your mother," I'm like, because she was right there in the backyard, picking up papers and stuff and telling me about her roses and they're so beautiful and they smell a lot and stuff. He was like, "Oh yeah." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "What was she wearing?" I was like, "A regular nightgown with flowers." And what was she doing? Was she just sitting down or something or what? I was like, "No, she was walking around. She wasn't sitting down. She was walking around picking up papers." And she just stopped to say hi to me because I was like, "We're new neighbors." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, so I was like kind of like freaking out because he just gave me this look, and then he turned and looked at my mom, and I was like, maybe he was racist or something. I was like, "Oh, I think I shouldn't have been talking to the lady, maybe." But no, he was just like, "I'm gonna tell you something." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was ready to get in trouble, but he was like, "I believe you what you're saying." He goes, "Because my mother always cleaned up her yard. My mother was always picking up papers because some kids that lived in the back were always throwing trash over here and it would make her mad." And he goes, "And my mom loved her roses and she did put them over here and they are very beautiful." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Where did she go when you saw her?" And I go, "She went into that side door right there." And he was like, "She couldn't have gone through there." I go, "Yeah, she did." I go, "Because when I was trying to look at her, I go, she wasn't there no more. But when I had seen towards the house, she was right there." And he was like, Hun, that door is boarded up. There's no way anybody could have gone in or out. And I was like, he goes, come on and I'll show you. I was like, oh, I ain't gonna go. But my stepdad ended up going and he was like, yeah, it's boarded up. There's no way to go in or out. And I was like, how did I see her? I saw her go in the door. I saw her go. But I mean, of course, I wasn't looking to see if it was boarded up. I mean, you just see someone going in their house. But I mean, afterwards, I was like freaking out. The weird thing was that I saw her walking and picking up trash. He says that his mother, when she passed away, she wasn't walking anymore. She was actually already wheelchair bound. So there was no way of her getting up and getting out of her wheelchair without anyone helping her because she just couldn't at all. And I was like, what the crap? I mean, it freaked me out. But yeah, a couple of months later, like the roses came out. My mom was like, maybe we should just get roses. And I was like, okay. And they were growing like towards the gate, so we would just get them and put them inside the house. And they did smell very beautiful. They really did. But we never took care of them or threw anything on them, but they were growing on their own. The bad thing is that when we cut some off to try and plant them in our yard so it could grow, they would always die. They would never ever grow, never. But the fence, it was full of roses. But yeah, just that was in the east side of Texas, of San Antonio, Texas, in the east side by St. Philip's College. But yeah, I just thought I'd let y'all know. So I don't know. I hope y'all could share some more stories if there's people that have been to San Antonio, Texas, or if you're from San Antonio, Texas, share some more stories. Even if you just heard it like I did, or if you experienced something, I mean, it's good to know. Like they always say, the more people say it, or the more people put different experiences that they have in life together, you'll sometimes find the truth along the way. So I think that's good. So yeah, just thought I'd let y'all know. Bye. Have a nice day. Happy Halloween.